Martin met the girl in the old playground, the one that was built beside the ruins of the dilapidated school that had burned down 10 years ago. Her name was Lucia. Her hair was raven black and went all the way down to her knees, covering half her face, exposing just one eye and enough of her nose and mouth for him to appreciate her features. Her skin was so pale that Martin thought it kind of looked like snow, even if he'd never seen the real stuff in his life. Lucia wore a dress that was the color of eggshells with long sleeves that covered her frail arms. Martin was new in town and was desperate for a friend, and after wandering the empty streets of this strange place, his parents had decided to move into after his father lost his job. He was just another happy thing to finally have another kid he could talk to. It was late in the afternoon and the playground was just had enough sunlight to bathe the wander down. Swing side monkeys, monkey bars, and despite the weirdness of it all, Marty's curiosity took over. Hi birdies, so just want to cut out the video to say please subscribe to my channel and hope you enjoy the video. There she was, small, alone, looking like she was in need of a playmate. Hello there, he said when he first saw her sitting on the rickety swing, silent and staring at the ground beneath her feet. Hi, she solemnly replied, turning her head toward the boy in the way an old owl would in the guise of night. Martin immediately thought she was cute because she reminded him of a former classmate he once had a crush on. They introduced themselves and then, when Martin extended his hand for a shake, she met it with a tight grip. Her palm was unusually warm, hot even, and made Martin think of that time he accidentally touched a frying pan while his mom was cooking bacon. Do you want to play? She asked, her voice meek in that way that Mouse would describe as mousy. Sure, let's do it, Martin eagerly replied, finding joy in this peculiar little girl's invitation. They both went down to the side, and before Martin even reached the end of it, he imagined it to be as exciting as the ones his family used to go on during trips to the local water park. He cheered Lucia on as she struggled to complete a monkey bar, surprised by her lack of enthusiasm despite all the fun they were having. And as they spun around and round on the rusty roundabout, the cold wind of twilight kissing their cheeks and the dust blinding their eyes, Martin couldn't help but stare at this odd girl with pale skin, eyes hiding behind the curtain-like tresses and skin that radiated the kind of heat that could boil a pot of water for midnight mugs of hot cocoa. Faster, 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 she screamed, forcing Martin to push harder. The roundabout spun like a top out of control into dizzying madness of swirling colors. Martin could barely breathe when he finally caught his breath. It was too late for him to save Lucia from flying off and falling hard on the prickly grass. He ran to her as fast as he could. She lay on the ground, looking more disappointed than hurt. He held out his hand again, the same way he did when they had first met earlier. Only it was to pull her up instead of exchange names. When their palms touched, there the heat was again, but this time it was Lucia's exposed arm that caught her Martin's attention. Her flesh was black and bloody, and in some parts seared down to the bone. Huge flies flew out of it as the smell of smoke took over the air. Martin immediately pulled out his hand away, and when Lucia glared at him, the hair That once coworker pretty face called mangled, mutilated, and burned. "Do you still want to play with me?" she asked, standing up to meet his worried gaze. Her face inches from his, and the pupils of her eyes. He could see the flames. They were fiery, predatory, even as they consumed the old school wool. He could hear the tiny voices shrieking and wailing for help. He could feel the wooden beams succumbing to the tendrils of fire, crashing from above and crushing, crushing those who were not lucky enough to get away. Martha was paralyzed by it all, paralyzed by the heat, paralyzed by the figure that was once his new friend. Before him, and before he could even answer Lucia's burning question, he knew that he was now hers to play with forever. Be careful not to get burned.